Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Baseball family, welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. My name is Brad, and I'm going to be here with our guy, Mr. Brig. How are you this evening?
Great, actually, which is
Good.
Great.
That is great. That is great.
How are you?
You know, I'm really doing great, actually. We had a good baseball practice tonight.
Nice.
Kids were making the glove pop.
those.
It was nice.
Ooh,
It's really good. Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I'm just realizing though that I've been calling you Mr. Brig, and I think that it's because I just love that your neighbors call you Mr. Brig.
They do indeed.
So, yeah. That's one of those things I noticed while I was there, that it's always Mr. Brig.
Yep, that's right.
Anywho,
right.
before we get too much into this, I just want to remind you about Chinook seeds. Chinook Seedery. These really are the best seeds ever, baseball family. They are my favorites. I've been eating others along with them lately, and they can't be beat. Overall, the overall seed experience with Chinook is the best. The flavors are outstanding. Brig is a Parma Pep guy. I am an equal opportunity seed eater. But if you ask me today, I'd probably say Hatch chili. I've gone full circle, Brig. Back to
You
Hatch
have.
chili. It's my favorite.
Boy, I'm so proud of you. Gosh, you've
They're
really
so
earned
good.
that.
And you too can get the best seeds ever by heading to ChinookSeedery.com and using code BTPOD at checkout to save 10% off your order. Support your mouth, support the show, and support your wallet all at the same time by going to ChinookSeedery.com using BTPOD at checkout, saving 10% on your order. Okay, let's get into this stuff.
All right.
First things first, this week, Alex Bregman has finally signed with a team. And guess what? It is not the Houston Astros.
Nope.
I'm so
It's
happy.
crazy.
Get him out of the AL West. Another guy gone. He and Kyle Tucker are both gone. Mariner killers. So, I'm very happy about that. Before we get into too much stuff, he's with the Boston Red Sox. By the way, 3 years, $120 million. $60 million is deferred. Okay, so we don't need to go into the whole thing because people, it's funny, Brig, on TikTok, a lot of people are like, everybody can defer money. It's like, yeah, no kidding. We know they've been doing it for years. We celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day every year.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
Ken Griffey Jr. was like the third highest paid player on the Reds the last 3 or 4 years in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
We know everybody can defer money, but not everybody is willing to, and not every player is willing to take it. Bryce Harper was offered a whole bunch of deferred money by the Nats. Did not take it.
Right.
Refused to take it. And as we found out here, the Cubs did not want to give Bregman deferred money because that was a thing, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, I read an article that said that the Cubs they were like, nope, we're going to put it all on now, and because of that, we're not going to give him as much. And so we're not going to offer as much. So, it's a thing.
Interesting.
But before we get too much into the Red Sox thing, though, Brick, I'm curious, how big of a blow is this to the Astros? I'm going to step away from this question because as a fan of an AL West team, as I wear my Mariners hat, I don't feel like I can be as objective as I need to be. But what do you think?
Bregman leaving the the Astros, leaving the Mariners alone. Bregman leaving the Mariners alone.
Yeah, finally.
Bregman leaving the Mariners.
Astros.
Man, he just did it again. Bregman leaving the Astros. Yeah, that's just hilarious. Okay, Bregman leaving the Astros. It'll be interesting to see because when Pena stepped up, we thought there's no way they're going to replace Correa with anybody better. No way. And then they did. They had it in the system. Everything was built for Correa to step away.
Well, he's almost
Jeremy
been
Pena.
better because he's been more available since Correa's been gone.
Right.
Correa's been injured so much. Yeah.
Exactly. So then I'm tempted to feel similarly about the Bregman thing. Like, they've got to have somebody up in the pipeline that's ready to just step right in and pull a Pena on us. If that's the case, if that holds, not a problem, right? However, I don't know if that's the case. I will be patiently waiting to see. But replacing a guy like Bregman is going to be very difficult. It is going to be very, very difficult. And that's a bat problem, that's a glove problem, that's a clubhouse legacy, personality, legendary influence problem. Yeah, I think if we're looking at it holistically, then the entire fabric of the team changes without Bregman.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on there because the thing you're missing out on leadership, you're missing out on a Gold Glove, got his first Gold Glove last year, and you're missing. I am going to try to be objective, so here we go. You're missing out on a bat. Okay,
Yep.
I feel like Bregman really benefited from the Crawford boxes, and I think that he was like Crawford boxes monster. Kind of tomato a little bit, right? I know that the Green Monster is really, really tall, but you can pepper doubles off that thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? And I feel like Bregman's home runs, and this is just like seeing him play against the Mariners, I feel like he hits a lot of towering home runs. That's just my takeaway. Okay? So calm down, Astros fans.
I would
I feel like when it goes out in Seattle, it's towering. So I feel like he can still hit a lot of home runs in Boston. Okay? Now, this is the thing, is I just looked at the Astros depth chart. They have Isaac Paredes, who's going to be taking his spot.
Right.
Who, I watched a video a few weeks ago about him, talking about how he has some of the lowest bat speed in Major League Baseball. And something, I think it was like his OPS was really low, something like that. But the Astros looked at it and they're like, the Crawford boxes are really close, and he could really benefit from that. So there's that. But you're counting on that though with Paredes is the thing, is that you're banking on the fact that he's going to be able to take advantage of the Crawford boxes to make up for that offense that Bregman brings. So I don't know if it's going to happen necessarily, but I think that that's one of the things the Astros are like, we don't want to overpay for Bregman because we feel like we have enough of a replacement. That said, the Astros are worse today than they were the last day of the season.
100%.
Because they don't have Bregman. Like, 100%. That's flat out how it goes.
They're worse.
Is that, yeah. They are a worse team without Alex Bregman. And I don't care
that
who
is
you
the
put
best
at third
way to
base because that's because the other guy, their other third baseman is Mauricio Dubon, who's good. He's a good, solid player.
Yeah.
He filled in around that infield when guys were hurt last year, and he did fine. But he's not Alex Bregman. You're missing it.
So a couple of things that are interesting about Bregman. 4.1 WAR last year that was 145 games. 30 doubles. There you go. 2 triples, 26 homers, 75 RBIs. He batted 260, 315, 453, OPS plus 118. And a Gold Glove, obviously. So, should we move? Can we move to the comparison?
Go, yeah.
Because he's gonna go play with Rafael Devers, and Rafael Devers said, "I'm not moving from third base. I'm a third baseman. This is what I do. I play third base. I don't know what the problem is." And he said it in such a way that was like a little bit jokey, like you could tell he was trying to lighten the mood, soften it up a little bit. But behind it, and it was so thinly veiled, because right behind it, it was like, no, this is his quote, "No, I play third. It's my decision. My position is third base. Whatever it is they want to do is what they want to do. But my position is third base. I don't know what their plans are. I know we had a conversation. I made it clear what my desires are. Whatever happens from here, I don't know." I'm like, get after it. That is your corner, literally, and you should tinkle on it.
So it gets even better because apparently somebody asked Devers about like what if they do move you off third base? And he's like, that's a tough answer to give. I haven't given it much thought. I've been here my entire career. I haven't asked myself that question. I'm open to listening. I'm not close to those conversations. So it's like, yeah.
There will be drama. Now let's do a comparative analysis.
But hold
because
on. To settle all that though,
Whoa.
initially I saw that Bregman's going to play second base. He came up as a
I
middle
did too.
infielder. He is shortstop, so I think that's probably what's going to end up happening because they have Story at short, Devers
Yep.
at third, and it just makes sense to put Bregman at second because I think he can play it. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. Has he played any second base in the major leagues? And if he has or has not, when was the last time? That's what I want to know.
So yes, he has played second base in the majors. Last time was in 2018. He played some second base.
Okay.
I want to see exactly how many games that he played there, though. Let's see. 2 games in 2018.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
4 in 17. 3 in 16. So he hasn't played there a lot, but he has, which means I think he's athletic enough still at this point in his career that he could do it. And honestly, like, it's good for an aging infielder. I think, like, I don't know. So okay, in Little League, do you know what the thinking is now of where you put the worst player?
No.
It's not right field anymore.
Well, that's what you would think, yeah.
It's second base.
Really?
Yeah. Shortest throw in the infield.
For sure.
Any ball gets by him is backed up by the right fielder. Because you put your worst player in right field, the ball gets by him, it's going to the fence. That's 3 at least.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
Right. So you put your worst player at second base. I'm not saying Alex Bregman is the worst infielder.
I was just going to ask you that.
What I'm saying is, it's not a bad spot to put an aging infielder. I know third base is kind of the place, but like I think he'd be fine. I think he'd be fine at second base.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least, because he is 31. Alex Bregman is, and
Devers is
28. Yeah, Devers is 28. So the thing I worry about with second base, I was having a conversation with my neighbor about this, is all of the lateral movement, the left and the right, and it's a little more dynamic in terms of range requirements for your footwork, not for your arm. So we know he's got the arm for it. That's not the problem. I just think it's going to take a lot more. He's going to have to do more thinking with his feet than he has had to up to this point, right? Because
I think he's capable, though.
I do too. I'm not saying he's not capable. I'm just saying it's going to be, if we get some feet crossing, don't be surprised. Okay, right? If he crosses his legs a little bit, moving one way or the other, who knows? Particularly if he's moving to his right.
Well, so this is the thing though, is he was a shortstop in college. He came up as a shortstop.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like I said, he is a middle infielder by trade, naturally, who got moved to third base because he had Carlos Correa and then Jeremy Pena. You know, I don't think second base is going to be any problem for him. I think he'll be just fine.
I love it.
I can sing this guy's praises now that he's in the AL East.
No. No.
Sorry, go ahead with the comparison you've been trying to get at the last 5 minutes.
I don't like it. Okay, I don't like any of this. You need to stop praising. Okay, Alex Bregman, last season, 4.1 WAR, like I said. Now, Devers, 3.7 WAR. I've heard some reports that Bregman brings a stronger glove to the party than does Devers. I'm not sure that's a decisive difference, though it may be. I would have to look more deeply, or I would have to ask Brad to subtly go digging at defensive saves and stuff. Devers hit 34 doubles against Bregman's 30. Okay, comparative. 5 triples for Devers, 2 for Bregman. 26 home runs for Bregman, 28 home runs for Devers. Devers outperformed Bregman 83 RBIs to 75. They each stole 3 bases. Bregman was caught stealing once. Devers never got caught. That's interesting. Bregman worked 44 walks. Devers worked 67. That's a jump. Okay, back to batting averages. Here's the slash line. Bregman's 260, 315, 453. Devers last season, 272, 354, 516. OPS goes to Devers at 871, to Bregman's 768, and then OPS plus 134 for Devers at 118 for Bregman. Now I want to hear the defensive statistics, Brad.
Okay. It's Bregman. He's better. So let's look at errors alone. Bregman had 10 errors last year. Devers led the league with 12, which,
Ooh.
2, at third base.
Okay, but
if you look at their defensive total zone, total fielding runs above average, Devers was -2, and Bregman's 12.
Whoa.
That led the league. And then range factor per game, that's putouts plus assists over games played. So it's the ability to just
generate
get
outs,
basically.
Yep, right.
Bregman was 2.43, which led the league, and Devers was 2.21. So
marginal.
Yeah.
But, well,
I don't know.
I feel like the way that
looking at the numbers
breaks
though,
down.
But really though, look at zone total. The fact that defensive runs saved, Devers is -9, and Bregman's 6.
Okay.
To me, it makes
it's
looking
a clear
at this now,
case.
it makes sense to move Bregman to third and move Devers to DH because he's
superior at bats.
He's a offensive first player. And then
yeah,
deal with it later.
That's never been a surprise. We've always known that.
Yeah.
Right? Him and his stupid Cabbage Patch cheeks, right? That's exactly.
And there it is. It took 15 minutes to get there,
I know.
Rick.
I know. I wasn't exactly timing myself. I just thought I would lull you into thinking I'd forgotten, and then wham, I'd hit you with it. That's what I was going for.
All right, let's go ahead and move on now. We got the Cabbage Patch dig right in there.
There you go.
We got some stuff. We got some stuff with the Angels here. So this is really interesting. So Anthony Rendon, to no one's surprise, is out. He's going to have hip surgery, Perimanosian. The Angels GM says he'll be out long term. So nobody really knows. But I am curious if this is it for Rendon. And the reason I ask this is because the Angels said after last season, he's not guaranteed to have a spot coming into this season. That he's got to earn his spot, just like everybody else.
Yep.
Most guys at third base. They signed Moncada.
Yeah. To specifically compete with him. And I think the idea was to hope to light a fire under Rendon, but he's like, nah. Either he said, and it's hard to look at somebody saying they need surgery and equate that with him continuing to blow off his professional responsibilities. But that's how it feels because that's his track record. Okay? What it also sounds like to me, in my storyteller brain, that I really enjoy this narrative, is that Manasian said he got a couple of heavies in there, and he was like, go make sure Rendon's out long term. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm done. It's over. Take the cannoli. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what my storyteller brain did. I don't actually, first of all, I don't actually think any of that happened. I am being totally tongue-in-cheek, but it's fun.
So, first off, it's Yoan Moncada. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out just now. But, so this is the thing. Think about this, Brig, is that the Angels only have 2 years left on that monster deal. And Rendon is owed $38.5 million this year and next year, and then they are done with it. At what point do you just say, you know what? Dig it and go.
I think that's
I think this is
happening
the
whether
point.
they have to say it out loud or not. It doesn't matter. He's
Well,
out.
they're gonna have to make it official at some point. Like,
Yeah.
like if he recovers from this surgery and is ready to come back at some point, if if he decides he
Right.
wants to, can they? Or at what point they're just gonna be like, no, no, no,
He's
just,
not on any roster.
you're done. We're gonna
He's
designate
not
you for
on.
assignment, and you can
Yep.
do whatever you want from there.
Yeah.
Like,
Why don't they do it right now? Like, I don't understand. If they've said he'll be out long term, is this a union thing that they can't like DFA a guy?
I'm sure it probably is. I'm sure
That's
it
the
probably
only
is.
thing.
Because
That's the only
because
thing.
the other thing too is I think that if this happened at camp, like within the last few days or while he was working out or whatever, I think he's eligible for workers' comp.
For
As
sure.
part of it, and so they'd really be screwing him. I think if they were to DFA him, because there's no reason to, because you've got to pay him anyway.
Sure.
And he's 60-day IL, so you're getting the roster spot, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
you might as well take care of your guy, because if you don't, you're going to get a bad reputation, worse than you already have with the Angels, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
And so take care of him while you need to, and then when he comes back, that's when you cut him loose, because then it's
Yep.
just like, okay, like everybody knew this was going to happen anyway, and it needs to happen.
Nobody's
So
surprised. Nobody's surprised.
just get it done. But I think you take care of him while you have to, just to kind of, and I think save graces with the union too, because then
Yes.
also, like, if you want free agents later, they're like, well, what happens when I get a long-term injury? They're just going to DFA me. Why would I go there?
I think what you just said is the most compelling reason to kid glove this. You got to play nice with the union. You have to. And they're probably getting pressure from the league and the other owners to play nice and to do it the right way, right? Which is the right way, but they're putting that in air quotes, I'm sure. But to do it this way, because the CBA will eventually get, renegotiated once again, and everything, we've seen it before, everything's on the table. Nothing is safe. So
Right.
you got to play nice. I like that. I'll bet you it is a union passivity thing, for sure.
Very well could be. Okay, so let's stick with the Angels for just another couple minutes. Mike Trout's moving to right field. We knew he was going to change positions coming into this year. We weren't sure exactly what it was going to be. We figured it would be a corner outfield. Right field makes sense. I thought maybe right field or permanent DH, but he still has some in the tank in the and on the defensive side. And some of the tank for Mike Trout is better than 95% of the league. Let's be
For
clear,
sure.
okay?
For sure.
Like, you want that glove and that arm out there. So the difference is you put him in right field, he's not covering as much ground, and I think it'll be good for him. He says it's best for him because he's got to stay healthy.
Well, I say it's best for him. So that's all you had to do is ask me. Brig, do you think Mike Trout should go to right field? Yes, that's what's best. The end. Thank you.
The end. There it is. So I read this article about this, and I thought it was interesting that so Torrey Hunter did this. They mentioned this specifically in the article, that Torrey Hunter moved from center to right field toward the end of his career, and Mike Trout. I don't want to say he's at the end of his career, because he still has a lot of time left on his contract, and he's still like relatively
14
young.
years.
But he is 33 years old, so I think he's still got a lot in the tank as long as he can stay healthy by playing right field. But I think this is what's going to extend his career. But anyway, Torrey Hunter is going to be there to basically help Trout make the transition.
No way. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, the article said it was that he's going to be there as like a special instructor, but it's like, I'm pretty sure they brought him in.
Yeah.
like help him find the new, like, understand the nuance of the position, because a natural athlete, like a freak athlete like Mike Trout, he can play the position, but he's just got to figure out like what
the subtleties,
what the tail is like off the bat. Like he'll get there. It's not going to take very long. He'll probably win a Gold Glove if he plays all year.
Seriously,
I would.
No,
bet
seriously.
he still wins a Gold Glove in right field. So,
and if he plays all year, he's an immediate MVP candidate. pencil it in.
Oh, yeah. All-Star, MVP, Silver Slugger, Gold Glove, all of it. Yeah, it's there. And honestly, Brig, the thing I was thinking about this the other day, I don't remember if I mentioned this to you or not, but it is crazy how much worse the team is without that one player.
Oh, it's not okay.
Mike Trout's WAR should be like 40 every year.
Yeah.
To offset all the negative.
Exactly. If for no other reason than the team cannot do it without him.
I don't know what it is, because baseball is the least individualized sport in the world, but for some reason Mike Trout gets that team an extra 25 wins every year, it feels like. It
makes no sense
that they are so lost without him. I don't know what it is. I don't either. Because
that's crazy.
They've got some talent on that team, or they have had some talent on that team, that they should not be playing the way that they are, or the way that they do. They got a great manager. I don't know, man. It's weird. It is the weirdest.
All of that is true. Yeah, it makes no sense.
All right. Tell us about the St. Patrick's Day hat blunder.
Oh, this is fabulous. This makes me so happy. So okay, hold on. Let me slow down. St. Patrick's Day is coming up, okay? That's the first thing you need to know. It is the next major holiday preceding opening day, which we celebrate, okay? So St. Patty's Day, Major League Baseball is releasing a St. Patty's Day logo hat where the cap, crown, and the visor are green, dark green, and then in subtle, almost watermark fashion, there are clover leaves peppered around everywhere, right? All across the design. And then the team's logo it's white, orange, and green in that order from back to front in their stitching. Now here's this is the best part. The clovers are 4-leaf clovers, and they're done. They're out, right? They're all over the internet already. This is the problem. The problem is the 4-leaf clover has nothing to do with St. Patrick's Day. It has nothing to do with any of the religious iconography of St. Patrick's Day. It has nothing to do with the tradition. A shamrock has 3 leaves, not 4. And the shamrock is iconography associated with St. Patty's Day. So what they've done is they've put a whole bunch of Lucky Charms all over these caps and called it St. Patty's Day, and it's not. It's
now
so funny. Oh man.
It is really funny. So on the surface, though, like as somebody who is like completely ignorant about this, I
Sure.
do associate a 4-leaf clover with St. Patrick's Day because of leprechauns.
You would.
Right?
It's
Right?
'cause of cereal. Right. Yes.
Yeah, and so you sent me to the website. You sent me to the picture. I was like, okay. And then I read the caption. Thank you,
What's wrong
Uniwatch,
with
by
that?
the way. And I was like, oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is literally
Uniwatch.
no actual significance of St. Patrick's Day other than, like you said, Lucky Charms and leprechauns.
That's right. So, okay. So the question is, who cares? Most people don't. No, they're not going to care. There are a handful of snipers out there who are seeing this, like the guys at Uniwatch, whom we love, by the way. They're great. I need to make it very clear that we're not disparaging the guys at Uniwatch. They do a terrific job. And of anybody who's going to catch it, it'll be them. I love that. However, nobody who with discretionary purchasing authority is going to care that it's a subtle 4-leaf clover instead of a subtle 3-leaf clover or a shamrock. They're just not going to care. And so I don't think it's an enormous blunder, but I do think it was a really easy thing to not mess up. Now, I can see them having sat in the meeting and said, okay, what are we going to do? Let's give them some credit. Let's decide that baseball, new era, whomever, said, there's somebody in there going, hold on, wait a minute. It's not supposed to be 4, it's supposed to be 3. And everyone went, what? Who cares? Nobody's going to notice. Nobody's going to even know the difference. Or whatever. I would love to have been there. And then here we go. And so I can see them having deliberately made the mistake. Anyway, I just think it's hilarious.
Or maybe it was just, St. Patrick's Day 4-leaf clover.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but okay. I know nobody cares, but this is interesting to me on like a theoretical level, okay? I got to believe that a company who deals in iconography, right? Who deals in emblematic representation of whatever it is they're representing would have an enormous pool of researchers and resources with which to check themselves or against which to check themselves before they run it all the way up the flagpole. They're like, I got it.
Okay.
You know what we're going to do?
All right. Okay, I get that, but I counter with, have you seen some of the designs that New Era has put out over the last 3 years?
Oh, yeah.
That may not be the case.
That is the only reason, and that is a really strong reason to assume that they have no idea what's going on. because some of the stuff that they have done is, and you're right, it somehow has been in the last 2.5, 3 years where we've gotten this rash of garbage with peppered in there some just fabulous designs. And this is not a bad design. Like there's nothing.
No, they look good.
They're sharp. They're pretty sharp.
The symbology, like you said, the iconography, like the symbolism behind it is just not there. So
it's
funny
the symbology,
it's a funny thing.
Brad.
Symbology. Whatever.
If you're going to put a clover on a cap and it's going to have a Boston thing, you got to go with symbology, because if you haven't seen that movie, fix yourself. Unless you're too young, and then don't watch it. Wait till you're older.
Okay. All right. Let's talk Juan Soto for just a couple minutes here. Okay. So Juan Soto says he went to the Mets because they have the best chance of winning.
Ooh.
Aaron Judge disagrees. What exactly did Judge say to this, Brig? I don't think that's the case.
I will paraphrase. I mean, it was very simple. He said he does this thing where he shrugs, he clicks his tongue, and he looks away with a smile, like a little smirky smile, and he says, yeah, he's entitled to his opinion. That's what he said. He's like, that's his opinion. He's allowed to have one. I think he's wrong. I think he's obviously. I think he's wrong.
He should switch that up a little bit, even though just rather than just saying I think he's wrong, he should say it even when it's wrong.
Yeah, you can have an opinion
even when his opinion is wrong.
Yeah. Well, and I can hear all the Mets fans saying, "Well, hang on," and I'm just I'm a Yankees fan. Let's be clear, but from a purely like diplomatic perspective, he did a great job. He said, "We're happy for him. Good on you. Super excited about the guys we brought in instead, though. We've got high caliber, all-star, World Series, caliber people, which is the thing you want to hear from any leadership player, right? But especially the captain of the Yankees. Like that's the party line. Like you have to say that. Anything shy of that would have been absolutely unacceptable. However, he came right back and said, we're going to have a chance to battle it out for a long time. And I loved that because
he's going to be there for a long time.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Is they're both going to be there, and they're both going to be taking swings at each other a little bit for many years.
Yep. Many years. Okay, let's wrap. Let's wrap with this. Let's stick with the Yankees for just a minute. Giancarlo Stanton has tennis elbow in both arms.
Yeah.
He's been slowly ramped through spring training. To be clear, though, it's been like a week.
Well, they're saying, okay, we're going to make it slow. We're just going to slowly ease him in.
Oh, starting now.
To baseball activity.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They're like, okay. And this is something they knew about during the playoffs and especially in the off season. But they're saying like, okay, hold on. Let's take it slow. And all of Yankees fandom, we're all like, great, just in time for the playoffs then. He'll be ready.
Well, that's when you want him anyway. That's when
we'll see you in September, and then you can get a couple of ABs, and you hobble around.
This is the thing I do wonder, though. I wonder if maybe he was hitting the buys and tries a little too hard. Maybe let's cut the weight back just a bit, G. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
His arms are big enough as it is, making all the rest of us look bad. It's just maintenance from this time out, okay? You don't need to go super heavy on those. Just cut back on the weight a little bit. Be a little bit easier on your elbows. You'll be fine. Not worried about it.
Well, yeah.
Not in the slightest.
Stanton's response was very simple. It's exactly what you'd expect. He said, we play with pain. Pain is a part of the game. It's what it's going to be. This is my next bout of
life
pain.
as a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Life as a professional athlete is playing through pain. The difference between being hurt and being injured is, I think, the ability to play through pain. Is that eventually the hurt gets to be too much and you can't play through it, and that's when it becomes an injury.
Or something breaks. And that's what they're saying here, is that he might have little tears in, you know, the stuff.
That's what I'm saying. A little too hard on the buys and tries this offseason. Just needs to lighten up a little bit. Take it easy.
Oh, man.
But I hope, though, he does fully heal, because the Stanton we saw in October is the Stanton I want to see as a baseball fan forever. Because that's fun to watch, dude. Like, that's the Stanton we all love, and that's the Stanton everybody wants to see. Unless, of course, you're like a Red Sox fan or a Mets fan. Right?
But come on, man. You don't have to talk about the other half of my family like that. They don't. Why do you bring my dad into it? Why you got to do that? Yes, baseball family. My dad is a heathen Red Sox fan. Or if you want to reverse it, I'm a heathen Yankees fan, and he's just as confused. It's fabulous.
Baseball family, thank you so much for joining us this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review everywhere that you can. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe if you're listening. If you're a listen-only follower, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We have episodes dropping every week on Tuesday and on Friday. And then once the season starts, we're going to kick it up one more notch. We're going to be dropping Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. So it's going to be all there for you all the time. Subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And before we get out of here, real quick, I just want to remind you about SeatSack. We got Wilson one for Valentine's Day, and he is obsessed with it. We went to the park yesterday, and he had it in his back pocket while we were playing catch. So get yourself a seed sack. It is the best way to carry your seeds. It comes with a little self-closing clasp and everything. It's a canvas bag, or you can get leather. Brig's all about the leather. I'm surprised it doesn't have one yet. Head to seed-sack.com. Use the code baseball, the number 2 together. Again, that's baseball together, and you'll save 5% off your seed sack. Baseball family, with that, we will catch you later this week.